when the final whistle blew on Brazil's campaign at the FIFA Club World Cup. It felt as if a collective breath held across the country finally escaped. The tournament in the United States may have drawn the spotlight away from domestic football, but now every heartbeat pulses with anticipation for the Brasileirão's return this weekend. Flamengo, the nation's beloved Rubro-Negro, has its gaze firmly fixed on Sao Paulo, the first real hurdle on this renewed journey. How will Filipe Luís and his Warriors line up against the Tricolor Paulista? Read on to feel the electricity building before today's clash. There's an unmistakable energy humming through Flamengo's corridors, all thanks to Nicolas de la Cruz. After making a fleeting 10-minute cameo against Bayern Munich on American soil, the Uruguayan maestro has completed his month-long rehabilitation and stands ready, whether as an anchor in midfield or a spark off the bench. Close your eyes and imagine the scene. 10,000 Maracanã seats rattling as he jogs onto the pitch. The centre freshly cut grass mingling with the roar of the crowd. Only days before that cameo, on May 18, De La Cruz was sidelined in Rio, watching teammates from the stands. Now his muscles hum with renewed purpose, his mind sharp, and his boots itching to carve through defences once more. Every whispered rumour in the dressing room hints at where he might slot in today. Will he glide into the pivot, or will he lurk on the flank, ready to cut inside on a burst of pace? The only certainty is that Flamengo's engine just got a vital upgrade. And yet, if there's one shadow in this bright moment, it's the echo of another boot gone silent. In the same clash against Bayern Munich that heralded De La Cruz's return, Eric Pulgar endured a cruel twist of fate. Locked in a fierce duel, the Chilean's foot collided with the turf in just the wrong spot, snapping the fifth metatarsal in his right foot. Medical jargon aside, picture this. Pulgar sprinting forward, eyes fixed on a loose ball. Then, the sudden jolt of pain as he crumples to the ground. Pain radiates up his leg like wildfire. And in an instant, months of training vanish. Though Flamengo's official line stays tight-lipped, professionals rarely spill exact timetables. Experts whisper that metatarsal fractures demand 2 to 3 months of painstaking recovery. For Pulgar, that means crutches and rehabilitation sessions instead of roaring fans and floodlit Saturdays. As he watches from the physio room, his teammates will feel his absence. No longer that assured presence pulling strings in midfield. No longer the quiet force breaking up opposition attacks. Flamengo must adapt, and fast. How will the coach plug this hole? Hold on tight, we're just getting to that. If Pulgar's injury was a shock, Gerson's transfer feels like the parting of a dynasty. The Brazilian's move to Zenit in Russia didn't just signal a new chapter for him. It ripped a cornerstone from Flamengo's midfield fortress. Imagine the dressing room on transfer deadline day. Phones buzzing with the news, agents negotiating contracts in urgent whispers, and Gerson himself, suitcase in hand, hugging teammates farewell. From now until a replacement arrives, Flamengo will be thin. Just 7 midfield options to weave magic, defend and dictate play. Even Pedro, once in the coach's plans, finds himself off the roster entirely. The void Gerson leaves goes beyond statistics. It's rhythm, understanding, that intangible chemistry built over countless training drills and late-night strategy sessions. Without him, every pass and pivot must be rethought. So who steps up? The answer may surprise you. Despite the turbulence, the team sheet for today's match reads as a bold statement of intent. Goalkeeper and defence. Rossi protects the posts, with Wesley, sometimes called Varela, marshalling the right flank. Leo Ortiz and Leo Pereira locking down the centre, and Alexandro patrolling the left. Midfield engine, Jorginho anchors the block, flanked by the returning De La Cruz and the ever-creative Arrascaeta. Attacking trio. Luis Araujo hunts down wingers. Bruno Henrique charges through the centre like a locomotive, and Gonzalo Plata weaves unpredictably on the opposite flank. Feel the collective breath of Maracanã's 70,000 fans as they spot this formation on the big screen. Anticipation crackling in the air like fireworks waiting to explode. Defence meets midfield in a tense embrace. Midfield hands the ball to a fearless front three. It's a line-up that promises both solidity and flair. Coach Filipe Luís keeps his cards close to the chest. No training ground videos have shown how he plans to replace Gerson's dynamic influence. One theory: recruit a winger to occupy the advanced midfield channel, replicating Gerson's forays forward. Picture a lightning bolt in wide position, sprinting at full tilt to stitch passes into attack. Another strategy: entrust Everton Araujo with midfield duties, trading some of their firepower for extra steel in front of the back line. That shift would allow Juninho and De La Cruz even more freedom to roam. But it would shrink the attacking contingent to just 2 men. A bold gamble. Reinforced defence and midfield grit at the expense of offensive overload. What sounds right? A flashy winger dancing past defenders or a workhorse midfielder grinding down attacks? Only Filipe Luis knows, and he's saving the reveal for the whistle. Curious which direction he'll choose? The answer is just minutes away. All roads lead to the Maracanã today, a cathedral of football that echoes with history and hope. Flamengo and Sao Paulo lock horns in the 13th round of the Brasileirão, the league that unites hearts from Recife to Porto Alegre. Think of the stadium's floodlights flicking on at 4:30 in the afternoon, 16:30 Brasilia time. A soft golden haze over the pitch, the air alive with the scent of popcorn and passion. For many, this match is more than 3 points. It's a homecoming. After the dust of the US tour settles, the Nação returns to its spiritual home. Flags snap in the wind, drums beat in unison, and every chant booms louder than the last. Whether you're inside the stadium or glued to your screen, you'll feel the tension in every touch, hear the collective gasps with every near miss, and sense the heartbeat of 40 million fans waiting for their heroes to deliver. When Rossi's gloves rise to intercept the opening ball, when Dela Cruz threads a killer pass, and when every footstep echoes on that hallowed turf, you'll realise this is more than a match. It's a story waiting to be written. Stay tuned, because today, Flamengo's next chapter unfolds under the Maracanã lights.